Hello, everyone.
Hello!
How are you all today?
It's the moment of truth. Can people hear me? Because no one's heard me the past couple of streams.
Yeah, we're seeing how well we remember how to do this, um, which is evidenced by the fact that when I went to switch scenes in OBS, I almost hit the stop streaming button instead.
That would have been fun. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, good. They can hear me. Hey,
Yay.
welcome. Welcome to Neil and to BB Nate and Yagi and Fat Batman. And oh my gosh, I saw somebody else here. Where did they go? So I said, wait, maybe I said everybody. Maybe I saw myself. Did I say Yagi? Hi, Yagi, if I didn't say Yagi.
We hope you are having a wonderful 2019 so far.
Woo!
Already
4 days strong.
4 whole days in. Hopefully your world has not collapsed in those intervening 4 days. The last time we were here, we were doing our holiday special.
Yes.
Which I thoroughly enjoyed.
We needed all this time to recover, I think.
Yeah. Yagi's excited he got 2 hellos. That's to make up from the fact that we've rigged all of our mini games against you, Yagi.
Yep, basically.
But we are here today. What we want to do today, you may have seen in the thumbnail, which I loved, by the way, is kind of recap some of our favorite things that we've did or read or watched or saw or thought about in 2018, and give kind of a brief preview of what might be things we're looking forward to in 2019. So if you have things you want to talk about, or we may end up doing a good old-fashioned Q&A kind of thing about stuff. If you have questions or thoughts, or let us know what you enjoyed, or things like that in the chat as we'll go through, and we will call you out as always. But where do we were planning this as we were starting it, because that's the kind of professionals that we are.
This is the kind of content you come here for.
Yeah.
I talk to people. So some of you know we've started working with the group Positive Star Wars YouTubers, which our buddy Omar started on Twitter. And we're kind of collabing with the groups on YouTube now. And I've been talking to people in there, and people are like, so how much do you guys script? And everyone's like, we do this, and I'm like, yes, script.
Well, yeah, all of this right now is scripted.
Yep, every line.
It's like that scene in Spaceballs. Like this is now.
Now.
Yeah.
I believe that is a command in our Discord, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Which if you're not in, there's a link in the description. You should join.
Yeah, and also something that we've done in 2018.
Yeah, it's true. We'll get there.
Yeah. But I want to start off, I guess. Or I guess I don't even really know where to jump in. I was thinking about all the things that we've done in 2018, because 2018 was really, it was a fun year. I think it was a stressful year in some ways. Yeah. It was still a learning year, I think, in other ways. But I just think back to where our channel was, where our site was this time a year ago. And it just feels so different now.
It really does.
Because when was our first StreamCast?
March? I think it was March. I feel like, wasn't it? Because May we watched The Last Jedi for Star Wars Day, so we were already streaming. Maybe it was the end of February.
Right. I was thinking March myself. So like at that point, the vast majority of our content was like your Let's Plays of
the 40 days of Star Wars.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, see, that was, I guess, the year before in 2017.
It was.
This
time last year, we had just hit 100 subscribers, and then the Raylos found us, and we went from 100 to 200 in like a week, and have never seen that growth since. But that's okay. And that was when I met the Raylo community, and it was an interesting first impression. Now I adore them.
I mean,
but it was a very strong first impression.
I even wrote them a song.
You did. Which still gets comments, by the way. I don't know if you've been checking them.
Of course not.
The last person to comment said that you're doing the Lord's work. So
Sure.
No, we appreciate it though. I say often on Twitter that the Raylo corner of Twitter is the only Star Wars corner that's having fun. So,
Yagi says we did our first streamcast on February 1st.
Really? Oh, I wonder, was that episode 1 or was that like year 0?
Oh, right, because we did that too. I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, we did like I think it was like a 200 sub or 100 sub. Yes, we did like a 100 sub special.
Right.
That was live, and then we like launched it.
Yeah.
The one where we talked about Legends of Luke Skywalker, that was our first official one.
All of this is things we would have known if we had done any amount of preparation for the stream.
Hey, can you guys in the chat please research our channel for us, because we can't remember.
I mean, to be fair, it took us like 10 minutes to make sure our microphones were working. So
again, because we're the height of professional.
While we're talking about our content, is there a favorite thing that like we've done, or a favorite video or series that you did in the last year that's kind of like your channel highlight of the year?
Well, I mean, for me, honestly, our streamcasts are my favorite thing we do every week. But considering we just talked about those, I think I'm most proud, in terms of my own stuff, I'm most proud of the Balance of the Force series I did.
Mm-hmm.
I know I was terrified while I was doing it, which sounds dumb. And like now, I mean, like I think it sounds dumb, but like when I was writing it, I'm like, what if I get it wrong? What if I get fiction wrong, guys? It's going to ruin everything.
I remember when we got the Blu-ray sets of The Last Jedi, and there was that, what was the name of that extra that was something about balance?
Oh, yeah. I think it was just called Balance of the Force. I don't know. I got the thing right here.
I remember talking to you about that before it came out, and you were like so worried that stuff you were going to say or had said would be like contradicted in this bonus feature on the Blu-ray set.
And then it didn't even have anything to do with anything I was talking about. It was like, there is the Force, guys. That was like, it was a good featurette, but it didn't like say anything new.
Right. I think, of course, again, I think my favorite thing that we do is the streamcast, that we do every week on a regular schedule.
Never missing a week ever.
Yeah. Especially the World Cup special that we did in July. Still a highlight of my 2018.
I mean, I clipped it, so there you go.
But in terms of stuff that I did, one, there's not as much to choose from as there is stuff that you've done. I mean, I've still got like 3 Funko Pop videos that I recorded in October and haven't gotten around to editing yet. But I had a lot of fun doing the music stuff that I've done.
Yes.
It was a thing where I was randomly, like I literally had an idea in a shower one day, and I was like, I wonder if I could do a thing. And one, I was pleased. That was the Lando to the Childish Gambino song was the first one. And I had a lot of fun doing that. But I think one of the reasons I like that the most is every video that I made, I had to learn like a different thing in the software or like a different technique when I was recording it, just because those were different than anything I had done before. So I think that was one of the reasons that I enjoyed that so much. Not because it was like important or good, but because like I just enjoyed learning how to do them.
They're so fun. And if I can toot our own horn for a second, one of the things I'm most proud of with our channel is just how weird and random our channel is. Like other people are like, yeah, I do reviews or I do this, and we're like, well, let's see, we do skits and songs and reviews, and we live stream, and we like do conspiracy videos.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think that's cool.
I had fun doing, and I still need to get back to and finish the Republic Commando series that I was doing too. But my main memory of that is just being so stressed out and like completely like blanking on the fact that I'm supposed to be entertaining to a live audience, and because all I can think of is I'm running out of ammo and I have to shoot these Geonosians.
That is well, I mean, it's I find when I've been playing Jedi Academy, which is a lot of fun too. And it's like when the game's going fine, it's easy, and then when the game's going bad, I'm like, I'm trying to be entertaining, but really I'm just saying frick over and over and over and over. And people in the chat are like, you should try hitting him though, and I'm like, I'm working on it.
But like, when did you finish your Jedi Outcast? Like, was that still a thing? That was still going on first to last year, wasn't it?
Probably. Yeah, it had to have been. I don't know. Honestly, I don't remember when we finished it, but probably because we would have started KOTOR. And
Right.
KOTOR was March-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for hitting 200 subscribers, I think. We started, or 250, something like that.
Right.
Oh, no, I think we streamed for 250 because I couldn't think of anything to do for 200.
Right. But like, just thinking about how far even that we've come in like the games that we've played, because like watching you play Jedi Outcast seems like so long ago.
With the secret tunnels.
And that was even before we were streaming it. So like, I was doing the Let's Play of Bounty Hunter at the time, and then, you know, we did KOTOR, and I did a couple things of Republic Commando, and now we're into the Jedi Academy. And you did the Indiana Jones stuff for a while. Like,
oh yeah, for the record, anybody who wants to see the end of Indiana Jones, I updated, so a lot of you know that I stream from my Mac. Hold your booze, please. And when I upgraded my computer,
I thought you meant booze like your alcohol, and I was like, wait, we were supposed to have some of that.
That would make for an interesting stream, let me tell you. It was I upgraded my computer to Mojave, and it won't support Indiana Jones. So I've been sending like messages to Disney support over and over and over again to be like, hey, though, I want this game, please. So soon I'm supposed to be able to play it. And welcome Darkrai. Welcome you. I know Darkrai from our Discord, but also the Star Wars reference Discord, which is a really cool community.
Cool. Another thing that I really enjoy. I mean, I have gained a Funko Pop obsession over the last year. I had no idea that I would enjoy little plastic things that just sit on a shelf. Like you got one, and you got another one, didn't you, for Christmas?
I did get. It was on Twitter. My folks got me the Kylo Ren sitting inside the silencer,
right?
Like that super big one. I'll probably do a video, but I don't know if it'll be as exciting as your Funko Pop video.
But the first thing that I texted you when you showed me what you'd gotten was, these things get addictive, because Yagi, it was because of a while. So if you don't follow the main Funko Pop account on Twitter, you should, because they do giveaways all the time. And I was mostly retweeting them because back in the spring they were doing a ton of Star Wars and a ton of Marvel ones, because of the movies that were coming out. So I'm assuming that they'll start giving away more things I care about as we get further into the year. And I've bought a couple of more of them that I've not done videos for either, so maybe I can get back in the swing of that. But just the idea of collecting these things is a thing that I never thought I would care about, and now every time I see them in a store, my wife just rolls her eyes because I've got to go look at them.
The advantage I have is the Funkos I've gotten so far have been presents and not like me. Okay, the Yoda one I bought, but that was more for my Yoda obsession than a Funko Pop obsession. But like any of the other ones I have, which are not Star Wars ones, I have a friend who buys me Funko Pops as like prank gifts, so they're not like Star Wars ones. Like he buys me things from like shows I don't like, which is kind of interesting. But like that's how I haven't gotten super obsessed yet, is I haven't quite busted into like buying them for me. The problem is when I go to Celebration, there's going to be like so many exclusive ones that are going to be like $50.
Yeah, I'm gonna like just Venmo you money ahead of time and let you buy stuff for me.
100%, dude.
Like even the other day, like just to show you the level of this obsession, I saw an Ahsoka the White figure the other day, and I'd never seen one of those before. Like I've seen a few different Ahsokas, but it was different. And now, like ever since I didn't buy it the other day, I keep thinking, man, I should have bought that because I'm never gonna see one of those in the wild again. And Fat Batman, you would like this too. I got into Funko collecting actually with Gotham figures, so I have the entire first
I remember
collection
that,
of Gotham figures. And Celebration is in April.
Yes.
Yagi, we're going to be talking more about that as
it gets closer.
Yeah.
When they actually announce anything. Like right now we know like there's 5 authors who will be there. Yeah. That's about it.
Well, and speaking of which, that was another thing I wanted to bring up too, because that's another thing that we've done a lot of in 2018 is make not just the cool friends in our Discord and our stream and on Twitter, but like we have like legit like people that have talked to us about things who have created Star Wars. And that still blows my mind that it
blows my mind too.
That like people have given us the time of day.
Just today, I'm on Kevin Scott's email list, and for like he sends out like a newsletter every so often. He was doing one in January to get caught up over the holiday season, and he shouted out that he was on the StreamCast, and I was like, oh yeah, that's so cool that he's like putting us in his newsletter, which is pretty neat.
I mean, I thought for sure when I asked him what his favorite karaoke song was that we would never hear from him again.
He was just gonna be done.
Then I also thought that when I did a video breaking down one of his tweets, we'd never hear from him again. Or when we retweeted him like 20 times in a day. Well,
you just have to coordinate. Did you text or did you tweet Kevin today? Can I tweet Kevin if you haven't tweeted Kevin?
But like that's just another thing. Like if you had told me in January of last year, this is all the stuff that your channel is going to accomplish in the next year, like it would have seemed so unreasonable to me. And it just makes me wonder where we will be this time a year from now.
I mean, because like even thinking about it, wasn't just kept like Adam Christopher came on, and he's a super cool guy. His talk was so interesting. And then was your Ken Liu interview in 2018?
Right, because it was right around the time we did our StreamCast about
you're right.
Luke Skywalker, and you did your earlier interviews with Kevin and Tom Huddleston.
That's right, and it's been a crazy year. To rewind quickly, I don't want to make Neil think we missed him, but he was saying some of his favorite stuff was the recap I did on my journey from like when the Disney buyout got announced till today, and your recap of the NGO, which I love your recap of the NGO, and not just because I made funny art for it.
That was a stressful video to make too, because I tried to talk really quickly. And
it's hard.
I thought about doing a video to kind of parallel yours about my reaction to the Disney buyout. And so I will reenact it for you now. Who knew? There you go. That's my reaction to the Disney buyout in the last few years.
Well, and that was my thing with telling that story is I thought it would be good to get at, partly because I get on these weird fan hills that I want to die on, and I don't know why. But for some reason, when no one would shut up about how The Last Jedi turned 1 year, I was like, other movies had their anniversaries this December too, guys.
Right.
And so I like refused to make a looking back at The Last Jedi video, even though it would have been intelligent and great for the channel and responsible in every way. I did something else that no one was looking for. And but I was nervous about it because I think I confuse people on Twitter because, like, obviously we try so hard to be positive here, but then I often get caught, like, trying to either build bridges or defend different people for how they stand. And I think it's because I was one of those people who was angry.
Right.
And that was kind of weird for me to, like, tell that story. Like, my deep, dark secret is that I wasn't happy when Disney bought Star Wars. And but I think it's important because it shows people can come around. Like I came around.
Right.
I'm sad for anybody who's still angry after like 4 years or 6 years or however long it's been, because that's a lot of energy that you could have been doing something else with.
Right.
But I don't know. That was kind of an odd thing for me to talk about, but I think it's good.
I guess I've just been a shill this whole time because I remember the article that I wrote for Port Haven at the time. Was called a great overreaction in the Force. Because I was like, well, this is not going to be as bad as you all think it is, but
Right.
Yeah, Neil, 20 years this year for Phantom Menace. That blows my mind because
that's so crazy to
me.
The
Phantom Menace, like I saw the original trilogy when they were I saw Star Wars at least. I didn't see all three of them. I saw Star Wars when it was re-released in 97. But then the Phantom Menace was really when I got into Star Wars. So that means that I've been a Star Wars fan now for 20 years, and that really blows my mind.
It's insane. Like, I think Phantom Menace is when I first started caring about movies coming to theaters.
Yeah.
Because I remember being really excited when special editions came out. But I think 99 was the first time that I was like, I want to go see this in the theater.
When you were 10 years old?
9, actually. And I got motion sick during the pod race and couldn't see the second half of the movie because I was barfing in the bathroom.
Oh.
I don't know if I've ever told that story on here. But that's what I like to tell anybody who likes to bash the prequels. I'm like, hey, the Phantom Menace literally made me vomit, and I still liked it. So I don't know what your problem is.
But we actually had an idea not too long ago about somebody fun that would we could reach out to do some stuff. We're not actually done that yet, but some things might be in the works if people say yes for some 20th
Hopefully.
anniversary content for that.
I'm so excited for that. I think it's something that I've been aware of, but it's not something that's been super on my radar. But
Right.
I mean, it makes sense that's why, you know, it literally just connected, but that's why they're doing Queen Shadow and Master and Apprentice this year, which seems obvious now, but literally didn't think of it till this second.
Well, and it's a different type of thing to me too, because like we had the 40th anniversary of A New Hope, and like I know that that's meaningful, but I've not been alive, much less a Star Wars fan, for 40 years. And so to like know this is the 20th anniversary of a thing that I did enjoy, that I don't know, it means something to me. And I bet a lot of celebration content gets aimed at that anniversary as well.
I'm really hoping that Hayden comes back because he was at the last one. I'm really hoping that Hayden comes back because it means something for episode 9.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's something in my throat there.
It'll be in the special edition of episode 9. They've got Sebastian Shaw lined up first, and then they'll CG Anakin, Hayden Anakin over on top of it.
If there was like a theater version of episode 9, and then you go home, and it's like completely different on the Blu-ray, and you're like, what is this?
It's like, have you ever seen the movie Clue?
Yes.
You know, when it was released in theaters, like the different endings, like different theaters got different endings.
I didn't know that. That's so cool.
Yeah, and so it's only once it was released on VHS were they all put together, because originally every theater got a different ending to that film.
That's amazing.
Before we move on to talk more 2019 stuff, we want to shout out our friend Andy and Otaku now hanging out in the chat.
Hello, welcome. It's great to see you here.
But while we're still talking about 2018, is there a favorite thing? Because, you know, a lot of our content is about reviews or stuff that we've read or stuff that gets published. Is there a favorite thing either that came out in 2018 or that you read in 2018 that's worth giving a shout out here?
Well, I think that, I mean, for me, in a lot of ways, it's hard to beat Solo because that's a movie that was in theaters and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So on the one hand, to me, I'd want to say Solo. On the other hand, I feel like saying Solo's cheating. I feel like what I would probably say really is Resistance, because I was not expecting to like Resistance. I was not expecting to hate Resistance. I was expecting Resistance to be okay.
Right.
And then it kind of came out of the blue, and I loved it and everything about it. So I feel like I feel like I'd actually really pick that. Right. For the reasons I already said. I think also, hi, Barrett.
Yeah, hey. I didn't see him sneak in. Yep, there he is. It's because he's a different color in our chat. But I think for me, Solo also, I think that's an easy answer. But I think back to like the trailer reactions that we did, and just like the sense of wonder that Solo gave me, I think is a special type of thing. But for me, and I really love Resistance too, so don't mistake this as me saying that I haven't. But the ending of Rebels, I think is my highlight. And I keep commenting because, you know, there's all these Twitter polls like, what was your favorite thing in 2018? And and you know, you can only pick 4 options on a Twitter poll, which is limiting inherently. But like all these different polls I've seen have left off, you know, Kanan's self-sacrifice for Hera. And I'm like, that is the most beautiful Star Wars thing. Like Kanan, because of, anyway, I like Kanan anyway, but because of season 4 of Rebels is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. And to think that that happened less than a year ago, like that feels so long ago now to me.
Well, you know, talking about things we did, I guess because the end of Rebels was in 18, you know, I still miss doing those Rebels commentaries, and I had a lot of fun when we did those. And we did those largely pre-StreamCast anyway.
Sure, yeah.
But I remember, I think, was it the thing with Kanan where I was screaming, "I'm gonna be upset," and then I threw like a fit?
Yeah.
Or was it World Between Worlds, and like the way that ended, where I was yelling? There's one commentary somewhere where it's literally just me going, "I'm gonna throw a fit. I'm gonna throw a fit," and then I scream, "I'm throwing a fit!"
I think there were several of them where we got excited.
I said, "What is this?" But the end of Rebels was really, really great.
Yeah, and then like getting Jason Syndulla and like all that, like it's there's so much there in the last season of Rebels, and I feel like because the Clone Wars is coming back and because Resistance is ongoing, that Rebels has slipped out of a lot of people's mind, and I think it's such a shame because especially the last season of that show I loved so much. And that was another 2018 highlight for me. And I did enjoy doing those commentaries also.
I especially liked it whenever we'd have a recording problem and we'd have to do them again and pretend like we didn't just watch this episode.
We never have technical issues. I don't know what.
We're the most professional, highest quality YouTube channel out there, really.
I mean, for us to have not raised or spent any money, I think we do pretty good.
Fine. Entirely in our own time while we both work very busy full-time jobs.
Yeah. But again, I guess I'm just impressed myself about how much has happened and how far we've come.
It's been a year.
Because Adventures in Wild Space wasn't over yet this time a year ago.
Right.
We hadn't got the second Thrawn book this time a year ago. Like so much happened in 2018. Yeah, and both of those books, I really enjoyed both of those so much.
I really like. I feel like Most Wanted goes under a lot of people's radar, and it was really fantastic.
I think so too because it gets categorized as a like a young adult book.
Yeah, it's too bad because Most Wanted, Ahsoka, Lost Stars, and Leia, Princess of Alderaan, because they're all published through Disney and not Del Rey, are not on the official timeline.
Yeah,
and I think they kind of get brushed over, which is a shame, especially for Lost Stars, which I think we talk about like every stream.
Yeah, I just got Leia, Princess of Alderaan for Christmas, so I'm going to be rereading that pretty soon.
Very nice.
But like both of the Choose Your Destiny books that are out so far, like all of that was 2018.
Those were fun.
The series that we've talked less about, the Join the Resistance stuff, that ended in 2018.
Well, and so much stuff with comics, and we don't talk a lot about comics here on the channel, not because we don't care or don't read them. We're just both very behind.
Right.
I have 2 trades of Dr. Aphra sitting here that I have not read yet, that are just on my shelf. But I like it enough that I bought them. I just haven't read them yet. But like, I know there's been a lot of stuff going on in that series. Soul's Vader just ended, and that caused a lot of hubbub online.
Yeah.
Where we all talked about a thing that we all learned in 2005, like it was a new thing.
But, you know, I read all the X-Wing novels that I did in 2018. I read Revan in 2018. Yeah, we started in the NJO. It's just there really is so much. Like I read 50 books in 2018, and probably around half of those were Star Wars novels.
That's crazy. I read maybe 12 books, and they were all Star Wars novels except for like one Adam Christopher novel.
Yeah. Is there anything else that really sticks out to you from 2018? I feel like I'm remembering more and more things the more we talk about it.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff I forget happened. I guess I made two. I made one for sure. It might have been both Porg videos in 18. The first one I did before The Last Jedi came out, so that was definitely 2017. I think so much of the year gets condensed anyway because of the weirdness where Last Jedi came out and then Solo was so close.
Right.
Thereafter.
Yeah, because we were still doing Last Jedi content for sure for half of
for sure. Oh yeah, because that's really what launched us at the get go, and that just other things that we've done, like besides rowing. We've started a Discord, which I think is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
We've started working with a group of positive Star Wars YouTubers to kind of like combat the toxicity that's out there on the internet, and like getting that started is something I'm really proud to say we're a part of.
Right.
And I don't know. It was a good year, I think.
Is there anything? So like we know all the big things that are coming up in 2019, and it's maybe too easy to ask what you're most excited about. But like, if you had to pick one of them that you saw today, what would be the thing that you would most want to see?
Well, this is another cheaty answer because the thing I want to see today is Episode 9.
Right.
But again, it's hard to top that. I feel bad anytime I see that on a list because like I feel like, wait, that's the big thing, and more so than Episode 9, what I'm excited for is being on the other side of Episode 9. Maybe I'm not excited for Twitter discourse on the other side of Episode 9.
I am.
But I am not. But I'm really excited for the type of books and comics and Disney Plus shows and all the kind of stuff that we'll get once they don't have to be cloak and dagger about everything. Right. That's really what I'm excited for. It's kind of like we have this new canon. I've been loving the new canon and the stuff that we've covered, but there are definite wide open patches that they haven't touched.
Right.
And I think a lot of that has to do with Episode 9, and I'm really excited to see us, be able to get into those spots.
I mean, I think so too, because I mean we've made no secret that Bloodline is one of our favorite new canon novels. And like that novel alone raises so many questions that we know can't really be answered until after the trilogy is finished.
Who wrote the note? Who wrote the note? Was it really Ben who wrote the note? Oh my gosh.
Well, because like I feel like that's a whole conversation in and of itself because we see the inkwell in The Last Jedi. But like the idea that for Ben to have written the note, he would have already needed to be involved with, at least aware of the First Order, and that like
6 years before The Force Awakens.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's such a big hole.
Big thing.
Yeah.
And if you haven't read Bloodline, nothing we just said made any sense. So go read Bloodline.
Yeah, it's better than what we're doing. So, but like even in terms of the books that are coming out, like we haven't gotten really any announcements beyond like March or April-ish.
Right.
I'm guessing we're going to get a lot more of them. 9. Yeah.
Well, especially because sorry.
I was going to say I bet we get a lot of announcements at Celebration in April for stuff that will come out up until Episode 9.
Well, what I was going to say is if the rumor, so like it was announced that John Boyega said there's a year in between the movies, and then John Boyega was like, I don't remember saying that, but he also didn't say it wasn't true, so who knows.
Yeah.
But if there really is any kind of sizable time jump between 8 and 9, we're going to actually be able to have like great lead up books to it.
Sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Phasma, which was a part of the Journey of the Last Jedi, is one of my favorites. I would say Phasma and Bloodline compete for number one, just with Bloodline being more important to canon probably. Mm-hmm. But I loved Phasma so much. But like there was no real material about what happened between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi because there was like maybe a day.
Right.
So it'd be nice if we actually had that time jump and we could actually like read about things.
Right. But even things like I feel like the new Thrawn book has gotten a lot of attention. And I still feel like they're teasing some more Palpatine stuff that I don't think is completely answered by the Thrawn novel.
Well, and it's to have Palpatine around, especially to call, like, I don't know that Palpatine's going to be like a big deal in Thrawn treason, but to kind of ancillarily reference him, in the Vader comic. I mean, it could be us, it could be a case of we're seeing it because it's there and we're reading into it, or I'm reading into it what I want to read into it. But it just seems like there's a lot of Palpatine stuff. And I think that's a thing that they could really get into. I don't really think that Palpatine's going to be relevant to Episode 9, but I think they're wise to not say that, because then there's always the chance that he is, if that makes sense.
But I'm especially excited about Master and Apprentice also.
Yeah.
I think even above the Thrawn novel, I think that's the novel that I know about that I'm most excited about. And I need to read. This is something I may purchase as it comes out. I think the first issue came out this week. But the new Obi-Wan comic series, have you seen that?
Is it, or you mean Age of the Republic?
Yeah.
So it's some of them are Obi-Wan. It's anthology. So like there's an Obi-Wan and a Qui-Gon. There's going to be a Jango one. But they're all one-shots from characters from the prequel era, and then they're going to do... But it's like
between the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Which is one of those gaps I was talking about. And then they're going to have Age of the Rebellion and Age of the Resistance, I think. But I'm really excited for those, for sure. And then I'm there with Neil. I'm pretty excited for Celebration too. I can't make myself think about it, because if I think about it, it won't happen. So I very superstitiously just never think about Celebration ever. And it's going to turn out really well for me when I've planned out nothing by the time I get there. That's pretty much where I'm at.
That's another thing too. We've not lined up anything specifically, but I especially want some of our streamcasts at the very least to be some like Celebration preview stuff. We have a lot of friends who've been to Celebrations before, who may be able to give us some inside scoops. And I want to do some stuff on like cosplaying leading up to that, especially because I know that's something you're thinking about. So yeah, like I'm not going to Celebration, but I'm really pumped. I love Celebration stuff now, especially that I can watch live streams sitting on my couch too.
Well, I enjoyed that a lot too. And who knows? No promises, but if we can figure it out with our technical prowess, who knows? But it would be cool if we could do like a streamcast, but like with me there,
live from the Celebration stage audience.
Yeah, right. I snuck on. I'll be live until such a time as Warwick Davis kicks me off, yelling and screaming at me. What are you doing here?
Yeah. But we haven't even really talked about it. I know we've done stuff on our channel about, but like the Mandalorian still, and the Clone Wars coming back, in addition to Rebels, or not Rebels, but Resistance ongoing. Like I was thinking about this the other day. When the prequels were coming out, not only were they 3 years in between, but for the most part, that was it. Like there were novels, but I don't feel like people were as clued into the novels because the NJO was still going on at that time. And so there wasn't a lot of other novels besides the NJO happening at the time. But like we didn't have all these TV shows. We didn't have all this other content. And I feel like we are still, for better or worse, living in a golden age of Star Wars content. And I think it's just insane to me that how much we enjoyed it then and how much we take it for granted now. Just all the stuff that we get.
And I think for me, as all this stuff builds up, I'm excited because when the prequels came out, I was excited, but like I talked to maybe like my cousins, but I wasn't tapped into a Star Wars community myself. So it's really fun to go through this and like actually have people who are as invested, if not more invested than I am, that I can talk to. It's been really great.
And I think a Kylo comic will sell pretty well. The Kylo involved comics that I've seen on internet places seem to be doing pretty well.
They seem to be doing well.
So,
I'm definitely excited though that the Clone Wars is coming back. For me, that was probably the biggest issue I had with the Disney buyout was just that it ended the Clone Wars. But I understand why. It wasn't. I think it was just licensing issues. Like, it happened, you know.
Right.
Oh, and hey, there's the negotiator. I was talking about you earlier. Were your ears burning? And welcome Midway, and welcome to the channel, Mr. Probably looking for subscribers. Hope you're having a good day.
And yeah, the Fallen Order game, I forget about that.
For sure.
And we've not even talked about like the Galaxy's Edge stuff supposed to open up later this year at the Disney parks. Like it's just there again. I feel like we just take so much for granted today while we're bickering about coffee mugs and T-shirts that people might have worn or used at some point, and whether or not that hurts my feelings. We miss out on the fact that there's just so much going on, and if I'm being honest, I feel like we try to be, positive without being, like patronizing or being shills, to use Twitter speak.
Right.
But so much of it has been so good. Like, it really just has. Like, it's not just we're getting a ton of stuff and every fourth or fifth thing is good. Like, I can literally, I've not read the new Lando's Luck novel that's already out, but apart from that, I've read every single Star Wars novel that's come out in new canon, and there's two of those that I didn't like. Like, two out of all of those that I didn't like. And that means something. I feel like it has to.
Right.
Let's see.
And like, there's been stuff like I did a review for the Mace Windu comic last year.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that too.
I enjoyed it. It is the one with like the wicked high Yoda. It looks like Yoda just walked out of a meth lab. And that was, as a Yoda fan, that was a little bit hard for me to rectify, but I enjoyed it.
And
even then, we try to be balanced. Or there was a case of we were reading some comics a ways back, and there was one where you liked a certain thing more than I did, and I liked a certain thing more than you did. So then we just reviewed the ones we liked better.
Right.
And that's the advantage of having two of us, I think.
I mean, I don't know about Netflix losing the Clone Wars. I feel like Netflix is always losing the Clone Wars, and they never do.
I think the tricky thing with that is the same thing with like Disney and Daredevil and stuff, is that Netflix technically released the 6th season.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they ever get that. I'm not sure. We'll see.
I'm going to be signing up for Disney Plus anyway, so.
Oh, like
I imagine that I'll be able to watch it one way or another. So.
For sure.
Which Solo goes off Netflix pretty soon if you've not taken advantage of that. Rogue One, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's Rogue One. Is Solo on there yet? Is that the thing they're switching them out?
Yeah, Rogue One Solo is added soon, and I think there's like a couple-day period where they're both on there, and then Rogue One goes off. Yeah.
The big thing I need is for Disney XD to put up all seasons of Rebels. If that could happen, Terry would be happy.
Right now, Amazon has the first season on Blu-ray for $15 American, and I'm tempted because that's not a bad price. But really, I'd like it if Disney XD would just put all the episodes up.
Yep, that'd be great. If you're listening, Kathleen, I know you're a regular viewer.
Dear Kathleen Kennedy, yeah, right, for sure.
Also,
that's why we're so positive. She's always watching.
Also, give me Ray Sloan back. That video was like 8 months ago.
Right? And all your other ones came true, right? Like the Canero one came true. Yeah. You basically called Vader's castle.
Yeah.
By accident with your joke title that ended up being correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so we're just waiting. It's like that Judge Judy gift.
Yeah.
We're waiting.
Okay, so what I want us to do is we're getting close to our hour mark here, is I want you to give me your wildest prediction of something you think will have like just go ahead, throw your hat over that wall, just like I called out Sith Ewoks, something completely random, in the vein of that April Fool's podcast we did one time. Like, give me something completely random. This is going to happen in episode 9. We're going to get a special book announced.
Right.
Go ahead and call it now so that we can take credit for it when it happens.
Okay. I will go with a prediction. Okay, I'll do an episode 9 prediction that I'm formulating right now as I talk, as I stall for time. I think that to solve this might be sacrilegious. I apologize, everyone, in advance. I think to solve the tragic passing of Carrie Fisher problem, they will write a scene where Princess Leia like unzips herself, and really she's a clone of Amilyn Holdo, and there's a second Amilyn Holdo, and she's here to just hyperspace through every ship you've got, while giving the middle finger to every man she sees.
It's like what is that Vong thing? The Ooglith. What
the
like
Ooglith massacre. Yeah. She has a freaking Ooglith massacre. Yes.
My big prediction is that at Celebration we get the announcement of Jocasta Nu, a Star Wars story.
Yes.
That's the one thing I want. My other big prediction is that we will never in 2019 get anything official about either a Boba Fett or an Obi-Wan movie.
Nothing. Now that you said that about the massacre, I'm going to amend my previous prediction. Actually, both Holdo and Leia were wearing Ooglith maskers, and Leia died in The Last Jedi as Amilyn Holdo. And Amilyn Holdo took Leia's place and is the one that was on Craig. And that's why she's on Poe, you lead. You earned it. I'm sorry for all the things I told you. And that's my prediction for episode 9. Is they switched.
Anybody else in the chat got big predictions? Fat Batman says either a Snoke novel or announce an episode Rey turns out to be the dark side and Kylo brings her back to the light. Maybe so.
He's way more realistic than either of ours, I think.
Let's see. Darkrai says it'll be the final episode 9 will be the final story in the Skywalker saga.
I've
maybe.
heard that before.
Yeah,
I've heard that before.
2 other times, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
Let's see. Episode 9 prediction. Anakin appears. I don't want that to be a joke thing because I want that to be real.
No, that needs to be a thing.
Like as much
and
as
I will just beep.
Like as much as I would personally make sure Jocasta Nu, a Star Wars story, made $1 billion. Anakin being in episode 9 is a different kind of thing.
It's so important. Maybe if we had Anakin in episode 9 and then Kylo, who is a Skywalker, it could make $2 billion because apparently it's $1 billion a Skywalker.
What if this is a completely different tangent, but I'm going to go down this road for a minute. What if it had been Anakin at the tree instead of Yoda in The Last Jedi? What if Anakin had been the one to show up and say, "Luke, you're being stupid"?
Okay, I think it would have. In some ways, it would have been more epic. Yeah. But in a lot of ways, I think it would have made less sense.
Yeah, well, definitely, but sure.
Yeah, because like Anakin would have been like, "Way to go, son!"
Yeah.
You're really holding up the family name here. Yeah, I think that would have been pretty insane. But I think Yoda was the appropriate one.
Sure.
But I really want, as much as, I don't want to rob Luke or Leia of this. It won't happen for Leia unless they recorded it for 7. But as much as I want that, I so badly want Kylo to talk to Anakin. I so badly want that.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Neil said C-3PO Sith Lord. We'll go ahead and call that one confirmed.
I think that's a hashtag confirmed for sure. Makes me think of 000 from the Afro comics.
Negotia says we think Anakin appears, but it turns out to be 3 Ewoks in a coat.
Now you're talking.
It's like my favorite scene from Little Rascals, where they go into the bank to try to get a loan. Let's see. C-3PO knows Sith chants in 7 billion languages.
It's perfect.
Let's see. Kitster
Kitster
saves the
saves the
galaxy.
galaxy. Where is Kitster, a Star Wars story? We need that.
Kitster and Broom Boy would be best friends. Because, Kitster's just been locked in time since
Yeah, he hasn't
the
aged
Phantom
at
Menace.
all.
He's eternal. Let's see.
I remember I made in a Broom Boy video I did, which I can't remember if it was 2018 or 2017, like right after The Last Jedi.
I'm pretty sure.
But I had a joke. I had a joke, and I was really sad that not as many people referenced it. I wasn't sure if it just wasn't that funny or if it was way too timed out or what. But I made a reference to how Broom Boy was probably the son of the janitor from the Robot Chicken Star Wars.
Yeah.
There was like a gag that there was like the same janitor that like sweeps up after every time somebody falls through a pit, like when Maul falls down in the Phantom Menace or what. Anyway, it was funny. Just throwing that out there.
Anything else you want to toss in before we start to wrap things up? Serious, comic, otherwise?
It's just, I guess for me, it would be a giant thank you.
Yeah, sure.
I was watching, and at one point I think we hit 11 or 12 people, which is just crazy because when we started out, we had a couple of streams there where we had like maybe 2 people, and one of them was you. And we still were going, and it was fine, but it's just amazing to have been doing this. This month will technically be the 2-year anniversary of this YouTube channel, but we also didn't really start trying until about a year and a half ago.
Right.
But it's just crazy that so many of you have been with us for so long. And it blows my mind how much you guys seem to want to hang out with us, which doesn't make any sense to me.
And yeah, on top of that, like again, we've met so many of you in so many different places. And if you're not aware, we're not just here on YouTube. So we hope that you are subscribed here to our channel and that you're liking the video, at least to make sure we know how many discrete views we can get. A Chiss Ascendancy cameo would be cool.
For sure.
But
also Kitster Eternal would be great. Yeah. I'd love Kitster as a Will.
But don't forget that we have that Twitter account. If you're not following us on Twitter, you can join our Discord. That link is in the description. You can see stuff like the really fun Jurassic Park joke with Barney that I shared the other day that I don't think anybody but you got. You can come see Dark Rise cool book collection on our Discord. There are forums. We still out there somewhere, unless Tumblr has deemed us inappropriate. We still got a Tumblr out there somewhere that we used like twice. But we are in a lot of places, and I say that because we want to interact with you in all of those places. This doesn't work without you. So when we first thought back when we first started doing StreamCast, hey, you and I are doing this conversation thing anyway. Why don't we let other people listen in? And that was more than just an exercise in vanity. It was that we really like the interaction, and it's not possible without those of you that have made this possible through 2018 and now into 2019.
I guess just as some shout outs, because we got a couple people in chat with YouTube channels. Poetic Injustice just slipped in. She's a streamer and she's great. Neil, I know you have a YouTube channel, but is it this channel you're talking from? But if not, he's got a Maz Eisley Musings. But Fat Batman's always here. Yagi has a YouTube channel. And he also has a Twitch, which is just Twitch/Yagi, I believe. Negotiator, great channel. Negotiator, you got a new Puss's video coming out today, right? You're interviewing somebody from the group, because we should all go check that out. Bare Naked Gaming was here. I don't know if Sarge ever made it in, but Sergeant Curry Pants is always here. She's got a channel. So many. Otaku Panda, who was here, has a channel. I don't even know. And like we had BB Nate from freaking Tatooine Sons in here. Like so many cool people dropped by, and I really appreciate that. If I missed you, I'm sorry. It wasn't intentional.
Kyle Katarn, the YouTuber. Yep.
Yeah, he does a lot of good reaction videos and stuff. He's a good dude.
But I think that's going to do it for us today. We thank you for hanging out with us. We are going to be, honestly, as my new semester starts, we're going to be trying to figure out a time where we can get back to doing this more regularly. So there may be some things that get changed around there, but we're looking forward to get back into the swing of things here in 2019. And until then, we will see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.